rare classics. They're available for a limited time, so order now at shop.tcm.com or by calling 1-888-9-TCM-SHOP.
Hi, I'm Robert Osborne. For the past few hours, I've been sitting here with this month's guest programmer, very talented actress who's been seen in such films as The Last of the Mohicans with Daniel Day-Lewis, favorite film of mine, also The Proposition with William Hurt and Kenneth Branagh. She was recently nominated for a Golden Globe for her latest work. That is The Matriarch on ABC's hit drama Revenge. Welcome, Madeleine Stowe.
Oh, thank you.
Good to have you here.
Delighted to be with you, Robert.
This is Madeleine's final film selection, and she couldn't have chosen a more interesting film to end the night with, and this one directed by the master of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock. It's I Confess. Okay, I'm curious, why did you pick this film?
It's a fascinating film, and
Right.
you know, I have other Hitchcock films that I deeply love. You know, Shadow of a Doubt is one. There are a number during his British period that are just really great. You see him transitioning over time. Notorious and Vertigo, of course.
Right.
But this is very atypical for Hitchcock.
Right.
And at the beginning of it has almost a German expressionist feeling to it. It could be something that Fritz Lang had directed. And Montgomery Clift is a very favorite actor of mine. In fact,
I was going to say, I have a feeling, because we talked between ourselves about A Place in the Sun and how much you love that film, is that I think that you picked this film the same reason I went to see it in a theater, because Montgomery Clift was in it.
I have to say, Place in the Sun is probably my favorite film of all time. But in this particular film, he's fascinating because he plays a priest who had a relationship early on, an affair with a woman in his younger days. And this woman has never given up her feelings for him. And someone comes and confesses to a murder in this story. And Clift, it was very interesting because he never condescended to giving the audience what they wanted.
Right.
He stayed true to his performance.
Right.
And you keep waiting to see these cracks in him. And he's a man of faith in this story.
Right. And being a priest, he can't tell what he heard in the confession.
He can't. And I've never read anything about this, but I have a sense that this film might have come out of the McCarthy era because it's about keeping your integrity and your belief system in place, not selling somebody out because your faith tells you not to do that, even though there's a crime involved. And I have a feeling that had a lot to do with the making of this movie. And the screenwriter was a famous Hungarian director, George Tabori. He didn't like working with Hitchcock. Hitchcock didn't like working with Monty Clift because, you know, Tabori believed that Hitchcock was all about pure entertainment and apolitical and not interested in much of anything other than just getting a reaction from the audience. And Monty Clift was someone that Hitchcock couldn't understand because he came from the method acting school. And it was a really interesting confluence of personalities. And the end result is that you don't have these highs that you see in these Hitchcock movies. You don't have the crop dusting sequence of North by Northwest, or you don't have somebody being stabbed to death in Psycho. But what you do have is a constant pressing, mounting pressure where people are interrogating and prying into someone's life, into personal lives. And I think it's about people trying to rip away privacy. And in this day and age, we're dealing with issues of privacy very much. And so it's kind of fascinating. It's visually an anomaly for Hitchcock. It's intriguing.
So let's see the film. Here it is, starring Montgomery Clift, Ann Baxter, Carl Malden, and Brian Aherne. From Warner Brothers in 1953, I Confess.